Picking up where I sort of left off in the last segment, I mentioned that Joe Biden has been very boring for right-wing media. He just sort of is trying to do the things he promised. He's not succeeding on all of them. He's succeeding on some. He's failing on others. He's mostly liked by Americans. He successfully did COVID stimulus. He's the most popular president based on initial approval rating of the last nearly 30 years. And things are just sort of like going okay. There's no major scandal. He even said, one of the new narratives has been, why isn't Joe Biden saying something definitive about the allegations against Andrew Cuomo? He said last night in his interview with George Stephanopoulos, if the allegations against Cuomo are true, then he should resign. So the right really has no idea what to do. So they're fabricating scandals. One such scandal has been the crisis at the border, which we discussed earlier and we're going to keep talking about. But before we get to that, they are also going on so-called cancel culture. Now, we've been covering like once or twice a week just kind of a tracker of how Fox News has now done three. I don't know if we're on week 3 or even into week 4 on Dr. Seuss, which has been a big topic of obsession for Fox News. And it's become daily programming on a variety of right-wing networks, including Fox News. Check out some of these delusional clips. Here is someone named Jillian Turner, who's a Fox News correspondent, trying to make some kind of impassioned speech about this.
Up ahead. Plus, cancel culture is spreading like wildfire. There is now a call for Generation X, that is X, to lead the charge to save America from the social media mob. Can they do it?
Cancel culture spreading like wildfire? What is she talking about? And on screen during that clip was an image of, if you saw it, Mr. Potato Head, Dr. Seuss, Speedy Gonzalez, Pepe Le Pew, Kermit the Frog, and Miss Piggy. Characters clearly of foremost importance to the Fox News audience, as you can imagine. There's also, as I've said before, something really funny about the Fox News audience supposedly being all worked up about literature when a lot of these people haven't read a book in their lives or since they were last forced to, maybe when they were little kids. There is some irony there for sure. Here's another one, big dramatic teleprompter read about cancel culture. During this one on screen, you will see Mr. Potato Head, again, Speedy Gonzalez and Pepe Le Pew, and a few Dr. Seuss book covers.
Latest apparent victim of the cancel culture that saw Dr. Seuss's books pulled from the shelves, Mr. Potato Head losing his gender, and social media critics saying some Looney Tune characters are no longer welcome.
This is what it really looks like to have nothing to talk about. Now, I don't even know. So we've talked about the Potato Head thing. We've talked about Dr. Seuss. I have no idea about the controversy involving Speedy Gonzalez and Pepe Le Pew. My guess is that there are some people who believe that Speedy Gonzalez plays on tropes about Hispanics and that Pepe Le Pew plays on tropes about French people and smelling. I don't know. Like, I'm guessing that somewhere someone said something like that. And now Fox News says that it's a cancel culture element. And what's really nuts is that there may even have been more total coverage of this than of the January 6th riots as they actually happened by Trump supporters. Like, certainly Fox News has covered the riots, but in a way that doesn't really tell the story as it is, which is a bunch of Trumpists inspired by Trump trespassed and committed acts of violence and vandalism. Then more culture war stuff. Fox News running stories for 36 hours about the Grammys, including one story with the headline, Grammy ratings take massive hit. This is something they've been doing for years. When the Oscars come around, they say record low ratings for the Oscars. And as I've said before, that kind of makes sense to me. Television audiences are more fractured than ever, and the importance of these sort of live events and one-time events, the more alternatives there are, the more diminished the importance of any one event is. I haven't watched the Oscars or the Grammys in a decade. I don't care about it. But again, Fox News' motivation is always to sort of gin up these culture war elements. And then, of course, any time that there is either an election coming up, we saw this leading up to 2018, we saw it again leading up to 2020. If there's an election coming up or there's a Democratic president in the White House, you can count on right-wing media talking about immigrant caravans coming to the border that Democrats don't care about. Fox also running a headline about this yesterday saying signs of new caravans heading to the border. They apparently realized that they can't really get away with caravans at the southern border. So they're going with the softer headline. There are signs of caravans heading to the southern border. So like, maybe in southern Mexico, they're noticing some people who are packing up food or something like that. Then lastly, every single day, and we talked about this earlier, so I won't dwell on it, but it's part of the bigger story. They've been talking about how Joe Biden hasn't done a press conference. Yesterday, it was 55 days without a press conference. The day before, it was 54. For weeks, it's been, where are the press conferences? And now that Joe Biden announced a press conference for next Thursday, they went on yesterday about it's suspicious that he's announcing it so far ahead of time. So we won't rehash that. So there's two sides to this. On the one hand, this stuff really doesn't seem to be affecting Joe Biden's approval. It's in the very high, like 59 to 63. It's been in that range and it's remaining in that range. And I know it does, to a lot of people, that won't sound very high. If you understand the range of presidential approval, if you understand hyperpartisanship, if you recall that Donald Trump, not even for one day, reached 50% approval, it actually is quite notable. So the fake scandals don't seem to be hurting Biden. On the other hand, what happens when there is something closer to an actual Biden scandal? And there well may be one at some point. So far there hasn't been, but there could be. Will they have cried wolf so much that the real Biden scandal won't be taken any more seriously than, Dr. Seuss or whatever the case may be? I don't know the answer, but we're going to continue following it. Today's show is sponsored by an excellent audio book called Takeover: How a Conservative Student Club Captured the Supreme Court. This is the latest audiobook from Noah Feldman. It just came out, and Feldman actually narrates the audiobook himself. Noah Feldman, of course, is a Harvard law professor and constitutional scholar. You may remember him from his prominent role in Trump's impeachment #1. And the book Takeover looks at how the Federalist Society became the most powerful legal organization in the country. 6 of the 9 current Supreme Court justices are current or former members of the Federalist Society. And Takeover dives into what the organization is, what it stands for, its relationship with American politics. The Federalist Society is an organization anyone in my audience should be aware of. And the audiobook has a ton of excellent insight into it and the role it plays. I really enjoyed listening to the audiobook. I think anybody in my audience would as well. So grab Takeover by Noah Feldman. The audiobook is just $4.99 and you can get it at davidpakman.com/takeover or wherever you buy audiobooks.